Okay, folks, we're back for another activities recording. This one goes with Chapter 1, Part 2. We are going to start out with a review of the preguntas personales, and we normally will, in Part 2 of each chapter, review the preguntas personales that we did in the first part of the chapter. And normally we will add preguntas personales for the second part of the chapter. This time we're only going to add one pregunta personal for the second part of the chapter, and you'll see that at the very end. But let's get started with a review of the ones that we've already done. Okay. And like I mentioned, these will become more and more in Spanish. So, vamos a empezar. Y vamos a empezar con las preguntas personales. What does that all mean? Vamos a empezar. Don't worry about every word that I say in Spanish. Just roll with it. It's okay. I'm just trying to get you to listen to Spanish. But since I'm going to say vamos a empezar a lot, might as well tell you what that one means. That means let's start. Vamos means let's, and empezar means start. So, vamos a empezar. Y vamos a empezar con las preguntas personales. Pregunta personal número 1. ¿Cómo estás hoy? Yo voy a responder. What does responder mean? I'm going to respond. Responder, respond. Yo estoy bien. También podemos decir estoy mal. O estoy así. O estoy cansada. O estoy aburrida. Okay. Pregunta personal número 2. ¿Cómo te llamas? Yo voy a responder, me llamo Caroline. O, mi nombre es Caroline. What should you be doing? When I ask these questions, lock yourself in your room and actually answer me out loud in Spanish. Trying to answer these questions along with me will help you remember the vocabulary. I know it makes you feel weird because you're in a room by yourself, but look, I'm recording this in a room by myself. Get over it. Try to say the answers in the little bit of time that I pause. Okay, vamos a continuar. Pregunta personal número 3. ¿De dónde eres? Yo soy de Lexington. Número 4. ¿Cuántos años tienes? Yo tengo, gonna lie here, yo tengo 18 años. Próximo, next, próximo. ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? Mi cumpleaños es el 23 de septiembre. The important part here, and the part that students typically forget, is the L. Remember, we're translating this. My birthday is the 23rd of September. You'll lose points on the quiz if you leave out the L for the 23rd. We wouldn't say in English, my birthday is 23rd of September. Well, we wouldn't say in Spanish without the L. So, mi cumpleaños es el 23 de septiembre. Próximo. ¿Cuál es la fecha? Oh, golly, I don't know what the date is. We'll just pretend it's the 25th. ¿Cuál es la fecha? Hoy es el 25 de agosto. Próximo. ¿Qué día es hoy? For me, on the day I'm recording this for you, hoy es viernes. Próximo. ¿Qué mes es? El mes es agosto. Or I could just say es agosto. Próximo. ¿Qué estación es? La estación es, depends on your opinion, verano, otoño, whatever you feel like saying. Or you could just say es verano, es otoño. Próximo. ¿Cuál es tu color favorito? Mi color favorito es verde. Próximo. This is the new one. Como eres. You're going to be learning how to conjugate the verb ser this chapter, this part of the chapter. Ser means to be. So como eres means how are you. Como estás means how are you. One means how do you feel? It's temporary. This one means how are you? What's your personality like? What are you like physically? Permanent things. That's what I'm looking for here. And you can use those adjectives in the book to describe yourself. And to respond to como eres, you're going to say soy plus an adjective. So I could say soy inteligente, soy introvertida, whatever. Okay, so those are your preguntas personales for this chapter. Be sure you have them written down because every one of those, literally every one, is guaranteed to appear on the first test. Here's something else that's guaranteed to appear on the first test. And it'll be your participation points, your first participation points for this activity. Write me a paragraph in Spanish, obviously, to introduce yourself. I want you, once you've got it all composed, to copy it into the class forum called Introductions, which you'll find under week 2. And I've given you a model. You're going to say, to introduce yourself, my name is whatever, I'm from wherever, I am this many years old, and my birthday is whenever. You don't have to tell the truth on either one of those if you don't want to. I'm not going to. And then you're going to use 3 adjectives to describe yourself. Here's a hint for you, and the reason why I said this is going to show up on your test. This is your composition topic for the first test. So when you put it under introductions, I'll make any comments or corrections, and then you've got your composition written for the first test. All you've got to do is memorize it and spit it out when you get to the test. So let me give you the example that I would do myself. I would say, me llamo Caroline, soy de Lexington, tengo 18 años, y mi cumpleaños es el 23 de septiembre. Soy inteligente, introvertida y exótica. Just to use 3 adjectives from our chapter. Is it necessarily the truth that I'm inteligente, introvertida, o exótica? No. It doesn't have to be the truth. I don't care about the truth. I just want to see you use Spanish. So work with the adjectives that you've got for right now. Okay, so those are some participation points. Let's move on to other vocabulary that we've got in this section. If you have looked at your book, gone through the book work for this chapter, which you're supposed to do before you listen to these videos, you will have noticed that I asked you to look at adjectives in the book. If I remember right, they're on page 21. Go find them in the book right now. Pause the video if you have to do that. Make sure you're on that page in the book. And then let's work a little bit with those adjectives. Okay, vamos a empezar. Vamos a jugar, we're going to play. Vamos a jugar con los adjetivos. Para empezar, yo voy a nombrar un adjetivo. What does that mean? Yo voy means I'm going to. Nombrar. What do you think nombrar means? You guys know that nombre means what? Name. So nombrar is to name. I'm going to name an adjective. Ustedes, you all, van a decirme, you're going to tell me, el adjetivo opuesto. Opuesto means opposite. So you guys are going to tell me the opposite adjective. Once again, as we go through these, I'm going to pause. I'm going to name an adjective. I'm going to pause. I want you to sit locked in your room all by yourself and try to tell me the opposite adjective. Actually try to play along. It'll help you learn these adjectives, I promise. And just so you know, this is the way, with this type of activity, this is the way I'm going to test this too. I'm going to put an adjective on the test and I'm going to ask you to tell me the opposite. So, adjetivo opuesto, opposite adjective, better learn that phrase. phrase, because those instructions are in Spanish on the test. Pay attention to which ones I use here, because, I mean, I've only got so many adjectives to work with. They'll show up on the test. Okay, vamos a empezar. Yo voy a nombrar un adjetivo. Ustedes van a decirme el adjetivo opuesto. Número 1, interesante. ¿Qué es el opuesto de interesante? Aburrido. Número 2, trabajador. ¿Qué es el opuesto de trabajador? Perezoso. Número 3, impaciente. ¿Qué es el opuesto de impaciente? This one's easy. Paciente. Número 4, optimista. ¿Qué es el opuesto de optimista? Pesimista. Número 5, estúpido. Now that's not actually in your book, but I bet you can guess what it means. ¿Qué es el opuesto de estúpido? Inteligente. Let's see if I have one more. I can't remember. Nope, I don't. Okay, well, I want to go back for a minute because this exercise gives me an opportunity to comment on one thing. Optimista and pesimista, words that end in ista. If a word ends in ist in Spanish, like optimist, then it's going to end in ista. If it ends in ist in English, like optimist, it's going to end in ista in Spanish, like optimista. You've got lots of words like that. Communist, comunista, socialist, socialista. Okay? Now, notice it ends in an A. It's always ista. Even though it's an adjective, it's always going to end in A. Only adjectives that start out ending in O, like aburrido, have to be changed to agree in gender. So like for example, paciente doesn't end in an O, so you don't have to change it. It's paciente for girls and for boys. Optimista does not end in an O. It's optimista for girls and for boys. Okay? Now, there's one exception to the ends in O only, and you've got to change it, and that is words that end in D-O-R. If a word ends in D-O-R, like trabajador, to make it female, you stick an O on the end. So if I wanted to say that I was hardworking, I would say yo soy trabajadora, because I'm a girl. Okay, just a little grammar thrown in there with the activity. Vamos a continuar. The next set of vocabulary that we've got in this lesson, the second part of the lesson, are objects in your classroom. So you can either turn to the last page of the chapter or the page in the chapter that begins part 2 so that you can see that whole big long list of objects in the classroom. You can pause the video while you turn your book if I don't give you enough time by running my mouth here. And then we're going to play around with that vocabulary a little bit to help you remember it. Okay, vamos a empezar. Para empezar, yo voy a decir una frase. Okay, this time I'm not going to say an adjective. I'm going to say, decir means to say, I'm going to say a frase. What do you think a frase is? That's a cognate. It's a phrase or a sentence. Yo voy a decir una frase, y ustedes van a decirme, y'all are going to tell me, si, if. Si without an accent is if. With an accent, you guys probably know it means yes. Ustedes van a decirme, you're going to tell me if. My phrase is lógica o no lógica. You can guess that. Logical or not logical. Okay, vamos a empezar. Tengo un lápiz en mi mochila. What does that mean? Tengo means I have. You remember that from tengo 18 años. You're literally saying I have 10 years. Okay, so tengo, I have, un lápiz, a pencil, in, mi, my, mochila, book bag. Tengo un lápiz en mi mochila. ¿Lógica o no lógica? Say it. Lógica. Número 2. Tengo un libro en mi mochila. ¿Lógica o no lógica? Tengo un libro en mi mochila. Lógica. Número 3. Tengo una puerta en mi mochila. Tengo una puerta en mi mochila. ¿Lógica o no lógica? No lógica. ¿Qué es una puerta? What's a puerta? It's a door. I don't have a door in my book bag. Número 4. Tengo un cuaderno en mi mochila. ¿Lógica o no lógica? Tengo un cuaderno en mi mochila. Lógica. Número 5. Tengo una pizarra en mi mochila. Tengo una pizarra en mi mochila. ¿Lógica o no lógica? No lógica. I don't have a chalkboard in mi mochila. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Número 6. Tengo una silla en mi mochila. Tengo una silla en mi mochila. ¿Lógica o no lógica? No lógica. I don't have a chair in my book bag. Y finalmente, número 7. Tengo... Oh, golly, I've got another typo in here. I must have copied and pasted. What's wrong with my sentence? It should be un bolígrafo to agree with the masculine bolígrafo. Tengo un bolígrafo en mi mochila. Tengo un bolígrafo en mi mochila. ¿Lógica o no lógica? Lógica. Just as an aside here, some of you guys, if you had high school Spanish, you might have learned another word for pen, pluma. Pluma means feather, like a plume, and that's the word for like those, like the original word for pen, because remember they used to be those feather pens. So if you remember una pluma from high school, you can put that on the test too. Or you can do un bolígrafo. Okay, vamos a continuar. Más trabajo con, más ejercicios, ejercicios are exercises, más ejercicios con los objetos en la clase. This is how I'm going to test you. Okay, so let's see how well you guys can do with this. On the test, I'm going to put a picture of something, and I'm going to ask you ¿qué es? And you're going to have to write down in Spanish what it is. So, número 1, ¿qué es? I'll give you a minute. Say it out loud for me in Spanish. ¿Qué es? La mochila. Próximo, número 2. ¿Qué es? El libro. Número 3. ¿Qué es? La silla. Número 4. ¿Qué es? El reloj. Número 5. ¿Qué es? La puerta. Número 6. ¿Qué es? Now, when I was doing your all's practice test, I actually messed this one up. This is not paper. It's a notebook. ¿Qué es? El cuaderno. I've got a different picture for paper, so be careful of that. Próximo, I think we're on número 7. Número 7. ¿Qué es? This one's paper. Papel. Número 8. ¿Qué es? El bolígrafo, or if you'd rather write la pluma. Número 9. ¿Qué es? El lápiz. Número 10. ¿Qué es? La mesa. Número 11. ¿Qué es? La pizarra. And finally, more participation points for this activity video. You have a picture, And I want you to write at least 10 sentences describing the things in this picture. And I have given you a model. I, that word is pronounced I. It either means there is or there are. Okay? So, here's your model. I blank, blank, blank in la clase. What needs to go in those blanks? The first blank needs to have a number in it. The second blank needs to have an object in it. And the third blank needs to have a color or some sort of a descriptive adjective in it. So, for example, I might say something like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I only see 14 chairs. So I might say something like, hay 14 sillas azules en la clase. There are 14 blue chairs. And notice, since sillas is plural, I had to say azules. If your adjective ends in a consonant and you need to make it plural, you add es. So I want you to write me 10 sentences. There's one black television. There's one white chalkboard. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 brown tables. Whatever. Go for it. If you've got any questions on the vocabulary or on the grammar for this chapter, or if you have any questions about the upcoming test, because we're getting ready to do a test, then post them in the forum for this part of the chapter.